Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Thurology 33 channel. This is your November 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossbred as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom of the oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off a roll of astrology ice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have Saturn. So Saturn's actually a ruling planet, and it's actually currently retrograde in Pisces. It will finally start its direct cycle on the 27th of November. But yeah, for you guys, Pisces is your third house of communications, short journeys, and siblings. Alright, we have Virgo. So, astrologically speaking, that area of the zodiac's pretty quiet. We do have the South Node there, but I do see Virgo energy in your main spread. But yeah, for you guys, Virgo is your ninth house of philosophy, higher learning, and foreign affairs. And we have 1. So, of course, that could just be saying you guys might have to focus on yourselves to an extent this month. Astrologically speaking, there's nothing really going on in your sign right now, but yeah, could just be saying that you might have more of a self-oriented viewpoint this month. We'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the King of Wands, Leo energy, and challenging that we have the Four of Cups, Cancerian energy. So yeah, so for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you're looking to partner with others in a certain area of life, whether it be investments, romantic partnerships, whatever the case may be, but you might feel like the offers that are coming your way aren't necessarily to your liking, you know. So for some of you, even if this is within your current workplace, let's say, right, and you're looking for some kind of a promotion of some kind, you might feel like, okay, the openings that might be available right now just don't really call out to you, right? So you could just be feeling a little bit stuck, whether it be, like I said, a workplace thing, something around romantic partners. It looks like there's something that you feel like, okay, there are things being offered, but you're just not necessarily too happy with what is available currently. In the foundation position, we have the Empress. So yeah, this could just be saying that you might have spent some time being in a more passive role, trying to remain open and receptive, right? And in doing so, you just might have felt like some of the opportunities were a bit lacking. In the past position, we have the Magician. So yeah, so for some of you might have gone through a stretch where it felt like, you know, anytime you did want something to come your way, it seemed to flow more naturally, right? So you could just feel like, okay, what changed where I was in this energy at one point to now where I feel like, yeah, I'm still getting things coming my way, but they're just not quality things I would like to pursue. In the present position, we have the Hermit. So yeah, so like we mentioned when we saw the Virgo energy with the dice, this is ninth house energy for you guys. So yeah, it could just be saying you're trying to look at things from a higher perspective, right? To figure out like, okay, what am I meant to learn from this, right? Because if we look at the position and spread, Hermit's looking right down at that Magician energy, right? So you could just be you trying to reevaluate, like, okay, what changed, right? Like at one point, anything I felt like I wanted, go after it, it would fall in my lap, right? Or even if you did feel like you worked hard for it, but at least you felt like, okay, there was a clear reward for that hard work, where now you just might feel like whatever you're doing doesn't seem to be bringing things your way the way they used to. In the near future position, we have the Six of Wands. So more Leo energy here. So yeah, so it says to me that it looks like you will receive some level of recognition at the very least. So there's a positive there. Again, might not be to the level that you're hoping for, given that these are major arcana cards here, and this is just a minor card. But yeah, at the very least, it looks like you will start to see some evidence of some positive momentum building for you. All right, in the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Six of Swords. So yeah, so for some of you, might come to the realization that maybe part of it was maybe your mentality shifted, right? And you might have found that it was a bit self-defeating. So you might be trying to distance yourself from that perspective now. Not that. This could even just be saying that, let's say, another way we could look at these energies is, let's say, if you made an investment in something, right, and for a while the investment was paying off really well, and now it might have taken a downturn, right, to where you're like, okay, should I just abandon this investment and go somewhere else or ride it out, right? But if that's the case, it looks like for some of you might decide to cut your losses. In the environment position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, so this could be part of what the situation is too, right? Where you always feel like something's just out of your reach, right? We see that Pentacles somewhat in this person's hands, but not fully, right? So that could be part of what's fueling you too. So it could just be one of those things where you might not even realize that you might have been knocking out one goal after another, right? But at the same time, before you even really gave yourself time to enjoy the achievement of that goal, you already set a new one, right? So that could be why you feel like, okay, why do I feel like I've just gotten to this point where, hey, I'm not getting the fulfillment that I would expect? In the Hopes or Fears position, we have the Seven of Swords. So I will say, based on that last message we had there, this would be more of a hope, right? Or, well, a mixture. I would say a hope as far as you're hoping that if that is how you've been approaching things, right? Like we said, to where, yeah, you've been hitting your goals, but before even have time to appreciate the achievement, you set another to where it feels like you're just never getting to your destination. Could just be saying that you're hoping to leave that behind, right? Where like, okay, yeah, maybe I am sabotaging my enjoyment in life to that extent because before I even do take the time to, even just take let's say, if we look at that Six of Swords as a, just take a long weekend, right? Like, nope, accomplish this goal, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, right? So it could just be one of those things where that could be where you're starting to shift as far as your mentality goes. And in the outcome position, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, Taurus energy here, and there will be a full moon in Taurus on the 5th of November. So yeah, so for some of you, you might be feeling this energy more so around that time. But either way, I feel like this is primarily just saying that you might come to that realization, right? Where like, okay, yeah, I get it, right? Like, okay, maybe I'm building like I always have been, but again, like we said, maybe it's not occurring as quickly as it used to, or you might have gotten more enjoyment out of that than you do now, right? So you could just be figuring out, okay, do I need to change course here, or do I want to ride this out? And for some of you, I feel like you might not come to a definitive decision on that one way or another this month, but at least it's going to be something on your mind. And that could just be as simple as, we have Mercury retrograde energy we'll be dealing with in November. Jupiter is in your opposite sign. That's going to start retrograde motion. Uranus will be moving back into Taurus as well on the 7th. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of shifting energy in November. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Death card. So, this is Scorpio energy here. And I will say, toward the end of Scorpio season, we're actually going to have a new moon in Scorpio. So, that could be where you might feel a little bit reinvigorated, to where you might feel like, okay, now you might have a fresh goal that you want to set your mind to. But again, I feel like this goal is going to be a little bit different as far as I feel like you will come to the realization that, okay, yeah, maybe I do need to at least try to take a little time to enjoy achieving that goal, right, before I just jump right into the next thing. All right, so from the Four Agreements deck, we have Don't Take Anything Personally, and it says Refuse to Eat Emotional Poison. Right? It says taking things personally makes you prey for predators. They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat poison. So yeah, that's an interesting message there, right? Because if maybe this is something external, right? So maybe you could be accomplishing really good things, right? But maybe there's people in your environment that try to downplay them, right? Maybe they kind of have that wet blanket energy, right? Where, you tell them something and then, like, oh, okay, yeah, but what about this? What about that, right? So if that's the case, this Six of Wands energy in the near future could even be maybe some new people arriving in your environment that are more supportive as well. So, if that is how this energy is playing out for you guys, that could be what's at play there. And from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Deep Knowing. There's the artwork, and the number is 43. All right, essential meanings says intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. The oracle's message: intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the doors to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind, or five senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You are now invited into the sacred dialogue of deep knowing, so tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there. And then, we talked about all the shifting astrological energies as far as retrogrades and planets moving into different signs, things along those lines. Like I said, you have a new moon in your 11th house, so that could be related to goals. There will be a full moon in your 5th house, so that could shift some things for you guys around creativity. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of energy at play this month that could bring these things to the surface for you. The relationship message says there are occasions when you just know deep in your heart and soul that a person is going to play a meaningful role in your life. Someone crosses your path and suddenly, out of the blue, you're connected at a level impossible to describe. That feeling marks a moment in time etched indelibly onto your soul. Someone has entered your life who will be instrumental in your journey, so pay attention. Two hearts are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. This is also a sign that your intuition about the person you care about is correct. Trust your heart to lead you now. Magic is about to happen. Yeah, that was an interesting message there, because for those of you where, let's say, if this Four of Cup energy is around love offers you've been receiving, right? Could just be saying, well, the shift there could be with the Six of Wands, you might receive offers that you are more interested in, and then there could be some growth around that. But if that's the case, it might take a while, just given all the retrograde energy we were talking about. The prosperity message says this is a time when your hunches will pay huge dividends if you listen to them, take the risk, and act. Within you there is an oracular consciousness, a higher and deeper knowing that transcends imaginations of the smaller thinking mind. At the deep level of your intuitive senses, you have an access point to the genius of the collective. The energies of all thinkers and creators, all inventors and leaders, and all that you need in order to leap into success are available to tune into. This is an act of listening intently. Past the busy mind, your genius awaits. So, past the busy mind, your genius awaits is an interesting message there, because, it makes you think of the Hermit energy, looking at the Magician from the past as well, right? Even the Four of Cups, to an extent, is very reflective energy. So, that Six of Swords energy there could be the key, right? Where you might need to distance yourselves from things for a little bit to actually hit that reset button to get a refreshed outlook. And like I said, that full moon in Taurus in your house of creativity could be important there, and then also your new moon in the 11th house. So be on the lookout for those lunar cycles to be pivotal points as well. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.